we just lose them?
Looks like it.
Oh, it's recording now.
Yes, it's live.
There we go.
Welcome to the Frontenac County Council meeting for January the 21st. Thank you for staff for being here and council. And we have two council members joining us via Zoom, Councillor Smith and Councillor Litke. So thank you for being here this morning. So I'm calling the meeting to order, and we will begin this gathering by acknowledging and celebrating those traditional lands as gathering place for the First Peoples and their ancestors who are entrusted to care for Mother Earth, my apologies, since time immemorial. We do so respecting both the land and the Indigenous people who continue to walk with us through this world. Today, the county is committed to working with Indigenous peoples and all residents to pursue a united path of reconciliation. We have no closed meeting sessions today. There are no addendums to the agenda. And I need to ask, is there a disclosure of any peculiar interest or general nature thereof? Seeing none, thank you. Minutes of the meeting held December the 17th, 2025.
Moved by Councillor Lichty, seconded by Councillor Greenwood Spears, resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting held December 17th, 2025 be adopted.
Any questions, concerns? All those in favor? Passed. Thank you. We have no delegations or presentations, and we have a proclamation. Item 7.1, National 211 Day.
Moved by Councillor Gowdy, seconded by Councillor Leonard, and through you, your worship, I'll just read the resolve clause. Now therefore be it resolved that the day of February 11th, 2026 be proclaimed 211 Day in the County of Frontenac, and do commend its thoughtful observance to all citizens of our municipality.
Thank you. Comments, questions? All those in favor? Passed. Thank you. Item number 8, we'll now move into the Committee of the Whole.
Moved by Councillor Fowler, seconded by Deputy Warden Vandewall, that council adjourn and meet as Committee of the Whole Council with the Deputy Warden in the chair.
Comments, questions? All those in favor? Passed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. At this time, we will call on Mr. Kevin Farrell, CAO briefing.
So good morning, Warden, Deputy Warden, and Council. Welcome to the first County Council meeting of 2026. I have a short update for you today, but we're already off to a busy start to the year. As always, I'll touch on the main points, and if there's any questions, happy to answer those. First off, to highlight a few items from my January schedule. January 8th and 9th, I attended the Eastern Ontario Wardens Caucus annual general meeting held in Kingston. I have a slide later on. I'll speak more to that. I had the pleasure of attending the annual Roma conference in Toronto alongside many others around the table. It was a busy few days of meetings, presentations, networking, and advocacy work. Our joint Frontenac CAOs and Treasurers meeting is coming up later this month and is scheduled to be held in South Frontenac. Healthcare, physician recruitment, retention, communal services, transportation, and community well-being continue to be the key topics of discussion around that table. And Warden Saunders and I are looking forward to ending our busy month of January by joining Chief Gowdy to tour some of the paramedic bases and meet with paramedics on the 30th. In terms of a human resources update, we've had 416 postings year-end 2025. Our recruitment is ongoing for a new Director of Human Resources with Barb McCulloch's upcoming retirement. We've completed a full-time Superintendent of Professional Standards and Training, part-time Superintendent of Operations, and working through a temporary full-time Community Development Officer. And as always, ongoing recruitment at Fairmount Home. In terms of labor relations, QP 2290, we've completed our pay equity maintenance plan, and we were looking to set dates for bargaining with OPSU 462. Miscellaneous, our HR team is moving all their files to our new SharePoint system. So that process has started along with the paramedics. The EDI committee met on January 6th, and we're rolling out 360 feedback surveys to many of our leadership team. A few notes from Frontenac Paramedics this month. Huge congratulations to Scott Snyder, who recently completed all requirements to start independent practice as an advanced care paramedic. It's a lot of work to get to this point, so a big thank you to Scott for his dedication and commitment to patient care. Another congratulations goes out to Jacob Rogers. With the support of council, he is now our new Superintendent of Professional Standards and Training. Jacob will play an important role in ensuring paramedics are well trained and equipped in an evolving profession. Frontenac paramedics were recently involved as a part of the emergency group welcoming residents being evacuated from Kashechewan First Nation due to water and sewage concerns in their community. 183 people were safely evacuated to a hotel in Kingston, and wraparound supports were being established to ensure their well-being, with the majority of evacuees being elderly, expecting mothers, and mothers with children. Inspired by our BPSO program, Fairmount's Behavior Supports RN Marlissa Ringelberg has submitted a proposal to the RNAO's fellowship program to advance a behavioral supports initiative through clinical mentorship. The project focuses on improving assessment, communication, staff education, and consistency in approaches to responsive behaviors. The goal is to reduce critical incidents and strengthen external collaboration. I want to thank Marlissa, and selected projects will be announced by March 13th. To recap, for all of 2025, there was strong progress on overall measurable digital engagements, which was up 16% from 2024. There was a strong growth on the social media side, with engagement shifting to Facebook as it retreats from X, which was formerly known as Twitter. Views on the county YouTube channel featuring council and committee streams continue with a strong year-over-year growth as well. The top most visited web pages were related to county careers and job opportunities, as well as the Wolf Island ferry schedules. And the top social post for 2025 was a submitted paramedic airport patient transfer image featuring the Goodyear blimp that we saw on June 17th. The top most engaged with campaign related to cardiac arrest saves by our paramedics. We see here on this slide the statistics for the Howe Island County Ferry for 2025. While overall passenger numbers experienced a decrease, the number of trips has gone up. We've also seen a decrease in the number of small vehicles, but the number of large vehicles has shown a steady increase from the previous year. Bicycle transportation has also seen a slight dip from previous years. And then additionally on this slide, we have received word from our partners at MTO that construction on the mainland and island terminals is scheduled to begin later this month, with nightly closures anticipated through February and longer closures scheduled in March and April. We're working closely with township staff as well as the MTO and their partners to coordinate communications around this. And finally, as touched on earlier, I had the pleasure of joining Warden Saunders and former Warden Lichty to participate in the EOWC's annual general meeting at the beginning of the year. It was an opportunity to connect with fellow leaders, reflect on the past year's progress and successes, and prepare for another great year ahead. Past Warden Lichty was recognized for his contributions in 2025, and Warden Saunders was officially appointed to the board of directors. And on that note, I'm happy to take any questions or comments.
Councillor Greenwood-Spears.
Thank you for the report. Just on the two pieces, that the MTO Frontenac Island County meeting, there seems to be still a communication problem because I got a phone call yesterday when I was coming back from Roma from a Howe Island resident that was, taken aback. The parking had all been commandeered by MTO. The crew of the boat was unaware of what was happening as well. And basically he hadn't gotten any notification that. And I said, well, I've seen, the dates and that. I know it came out via email of some form, but apparently we didn't have it on the website according to him. And we need to make sure that we have improved levels of communication because it does impact them, especially when they leave one car on one side and one on the other, and suddenly they can't do that anymore. So it's very important. And so I did send an email off to both the township CAO as well as yourself, and I hope that that gets improved. But on a second note, that the Kasheshawan evacuation, just by the good grace of the angels and that the fellow that organizes that for them sat beside me up at Roma, and we engaged in a lovely conversation and it's going to be a longer term evacuation now. And so he says, yeah, now I have to find school spaces and stuff. And I said, guess what? I've got a public school that's suspended right now. And so he's going to be reaching out to the school board and that, and maybe we'll have some opportunity to keep that school going because he pointed out that he was looking at a school in another place that's been closed for 6 months or 6 years. He says, when did yours stop? I said, September. So he was very, very interested. So there may be a silver lining coming our way in that, even if it's more of a First Nation temporary fix, but that would be nice. Just thought I'd share that.
Any other comments? Warden Saunders.
Thank you, Deputy Warden. I just want to pick up on a couple of points in the CEO's report. First of all, thank you for the annual report for the volume of traffic for that Howe Island ferry. That is a very busy ferry, and I think when you start looking at the numbers, you realize just how busy it is and how dependent we are on it. So thank you for pointing that out. The other is, being at Roma, I wanted to point out that in one presentation specifically by one of the financial advisor folks, they mentioned Municipal Services Corporation several times as a solution to reduce, has several options, encouraging municipalities to look into this further as we are with communal services. That individual sees as an opportunity to increase your access to low cost debt. I think that would be the right terminology, also reducing some of the risks associated with major projects. And obviously we're thinking communal services, but it was he mentioned local electrical distribution, and there was one other one they mentioned as well. So it seems to be a growing opportunity for municipalities to access additional services and debt. So I want to point that out. Thank you. Oh, sorry, one other point, if I could. As Councillor Lichty and former Warden Lichty would point out or support, this EWOC group is extremely powerful. They've got a great team. They get in front of ministers with very professional information, and they're making a significant impact in addressing the issues of Eastern Ontario. So hats off to them.
Okay, any other comments? Seeing none, there's no unfinished business, no consent reports, no committee of management of Fairmount. The next agenda item is recommended report from the Chief Administrative Officer.
Moved by Counselor Smith, seconded by Counselor Lichty. Be it resolved that the Council of the County of Frontenac authorize the warden and clerk to execute a transfer payment agreement with the province of Ontario for provincial assistance for incremental costs related to the March 2025 ice storm.
Questions? All in favor? Carried.
Moved by Counselor Greenwood Spears, seconded by Counselor Gowdy. Be it resolved that the Council of the County of Frontenac authorize the warden and clerk to enter into a lease extension agreement with the City of Kingston for the property municipally known as 1665 Highway 15, Kingston.
Comments? All in favor? Carried.
Moved by Counselor Saunders, seconded by moved by Counselor Leonard, seconded by Warden Saunders. Resolved that council pass a bylaw later in the meeting to impose user fees and charges for services and rescind bylaw 2025-002, being a bylaw to impose user fees and charges for services.
Any questions or comments on that? Do we vote on this now or do you do it under the bylaw? Again? Okay, never. No questions, comments? All in favor? Carried.
Moved by Counselor Fowler, seconded by Counselor Smith. Be it resolved that the clerk be directed to introduce a bylaw later in the meeting to authorize current borrowing from time to time during 2026.
Comments? All in favor? Carried.
Moved by Counselor Lichty, seconded by Counselor Greenwood Spears. Be it resolved that the clerk of the County of Frontenac is authorized to bring forward an amending bylaw for the distribution of the Canada Community Build Fund CCBF for 2025.
Comments? All in favor? Carried. Information report from the CAO. United Naming and Civic Addressing. Okay. Anybody have? Yes, Councillor Greenwood Spears.
Okay, just to bring you up to speed in that, I did not allow that to move forward at our January meeting because from our website, one of the repealed naming of streets was not available for review in that. And on Frontenac Islands, we have a bylaw, I believe it was passed in 2016, that any future naming of streets, and that would be honoring our war dead from World War I and II. So I want to make sure that that protection's in place. So just, it's going to be a little bit slower on Frontenac Islands until I make sure that we have our, I don't want to see the new street name being First Street, Second Street, Third Street. And that, because that's already been a decision to honor our dead. Thank you.
So appreciate the comment, and Christy is here. She's our supervisor of GIS. She's been working very hard, partnering with township staff, working through this. So if those comments can make it to Christy and through email or something, we can look into that further.
Any other comments? Seeing none. No report from the advisory committee. We return to council.
Moved by Counselor Gowdy, seconded by Warden Saunders, that council revert from committee of the whole council to council.
All in favor? Carried.
I'd like to thank the deputy warden for moving through that at lightning speed. Thank you, sir. Return to council at, okay, item number 17, adoption of the report of the committee of the whole of council.
Moved by Counselor Leonard, seconded by Counselor Fowler, that the report of the committee of the whole council be adopted and that the necessary actions or bylaws be enacted.
Comments, questions? Seeing none, passed. We have no motions or notice of motion which have been given. Madam Clerk, if I could, as a reminder, you saw it in the previous notes, I put forward a notice of motion at last meeting. We're now going to delay bringing that motion forward until the February meeting. That was regarding nurse practitioner funding. And I believe Councillor Greenwood Spears, you'd be willing to second that motion when it comes forward?
Yes, I had hoped that because it was already passed at our council, that it could have just flowed straight into this council on that, but we can wait till February on it.
Thank you. So any giving of notice of motion. Can you tell that I was at a Roma conference for 4 days? My apologies. Long nights. Anyone giving notice of motion? Seeing none, thank you. Communication? No resolution required. No other business, Madam Clerk?
I just have one comment. I wish that Fran and Jerry would have drove out for this meeting. Thank you.
They're not letting me drive yet. They know how dangerous I am with 2 legs.
And in my case, I was going, but something happened this morning, so I couldn't. I don't know what the weather there is like, but here the sun is shining, or well, maybe it was, but it's not supposed to be later. So, for 20 minutes, I think anything that's going to be less than half an hour, we should think a little more on using electronic means, but hey.
Thank you both for attending virtually. I do appreciate it. Other business, seeing none. General bylaws, general bylaws and confirmatory bylaw.
So for first and second reading, it's moved by Deputy Warden Vandewall and seconded by Councillor Smith. Resolved that leave be given to the mover to introduce bylaws 2 through 7 that have been circulated to all members of County Council, and that bylaws 2 through 7 be read a first and second time.
Comments, questions? All those in favor? Passed. Third reading?
Moved by Deputy Warden Vandewall, seconded by Councillor Smith. Resolved that bylaws 1 through 7 be read a third time, signed, sealed, and finally passed.
Comments, questions? Councillor Green Spears.
Just one comment, just because we're doing a transition of technology in that I was hearing that our agenda is having to be put on the website manually. And I'd like to hear if there's ever any problem with the public not getting the information while we're doing that transition. It would be very helpful since we do first, second, and it seems third reading in one shot. So I'd hate to hear that after the fact, the public didn't have access to it. So bear with us.
CEO Farrell or Madam Clerk, would you like to comment on that?
So just to speak to that, we are having a little bit of an issue with the calendar. So our communications officer, Matt Mills, is now posting public notices on the website. So they're actually right on the front page as opposed to having to dig for the calendar. So it's probably more transparent than previously. But yes, the public is getting notified.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I believe that takes us to the end of. Oh, my apologies. So any comment, question on that? Seeing none, all those in favor? Passed. Thank you. That concludes the bylaws portion. I believe we're at item 23, adjournment.
Sorry. Did we do third reading? Or did I miss that?
Yes, Councillor Lickey, that was third reading.
Sorry.
Would you like it read again? Is that procedurally, can that be done?
No, it's fine. It's
Okay.
fine. 'Cause I was in favor of it anyway, so there you go.
Thank you. Adjournment?
Moved by Councillor Lichty, seconded by Councillor Greenwood Spears, that the meeting hereby adjourn at 9:51 a.m.
Comments, questions? Seeing none? Passed. Thank you all.
Thank you.